Lurker already? Did I enable chat, or is this private? Just need somebody to tell me this is live. Where's preferences? Public. Hey, somebody's there. Okay. AJ, Clay. What'd you call, Clay? What did you call? Brian, what'd you find in South Dakota? Erectile dysfunction. Pretty much. That's what I think the bass fishing needs is a little blue pill. FBD. I don't think Boyd's making any more fans. Which has got to, I mean, if you kind of think about it, when you're a fisherman and you also own a company, I guess it's the same for anybody that owns a business that also participates. I guess it's kind of like me. Like if I get on here and completely just dick people over, eventually they're gonna not want to buy my rods or whatever. So I feel like is Duckett Fishing gonna see the fishing community clap back and say, we don't like you, and because we don't like you, we don't like your crummy white rods. No, I wasn't talking about Watson got exactly what he was looking for. He knew that you weren't just going to poke and nothing was going to happen. Watson got exactly what he was looking for, a reaction. What's up, Kyle? The one I think is the most interesting is the Brian New one. Because maybe I'm a scumbag. Maybe I'm a degenerate. But I didn't really see where Brian New blasting a bed was that terrible. I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was that bad. Not like if I would have seen somebody doing that, I'd have been like, that was kind of dick. But I would have never thought it was so offensive that I would like question the integrity of like sportsmanship. I'd have just been like, that was kind of a dick move, whatever. Like, move on about my day. Like, one fish isn't going to make or break anybody. Like, if it is, you need to just catch them better. If it is against the rules, it's against the rules. Was what he did against the rules? Is there a rule? It was a dickhead move, but I don't think it was like a whiny. Like I'm not gonna go and like raise hell about it. You know what I mean? Like, and to say it's like a dick move for the bed, like you're messing up the bed. What do you think taking the fish 30 miles down the river is? Which is worse? Shooting a little silt on the bed and stirring it up, or completely removing the fish, disrupting the habitat? No, taking the fish off the bed is disrupting the habitat. That's the part that gets me. Is it not? Mountain out of a molehill. I'd agree, Clay. Disrupting the habitat. You can't even say that, dude, because there's been so many beds blown out by I mean, he did it on purpose, but everybody's done it unknowingly. Like all those guys who were trolling through that shallow stuff disrupted beds, whether they thought they were, like, whether they were doing it unintentionally or not. Like, give me a break, dude. Like they just took hundreds of fish off the beds, and they're going to bitch at Brian New for turning around and giving it a little prop wash. Come on. There goes. There you go, Clay. The dude also went back to check the fish. So I don't know that he was really trying to dick. I guess it was either going to A, get the fish fired up, or B, dick the fish up completely, and then it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But I don't know. I don't know. So hearing all that, I said, what is happening with this? I thought it was really stupid. Really, really stupid. Um, I don't know. It's the same thing with like ledge fishing. If you leave a ledge, you can blow out a ledge with your motor before you leave. Sometimes that actually works. Like sometimes it gets them fired up. Sometimes you blow a bunch of shit on the ledge and nothing happens. But whatever. Whatever. Yeah, it's not like he like tied the fish to the bottom and then went and like chopped him up with his motor. Like, give me a break. Um, uh, Before New got on it, someone else was on it and slid off of it. Anyone's got some. There you go, Burnsy. Burns had to approve the back shade. You said you didn't do it too light, did you? In honor of Easter, we named those the Bad Bunnies. Which one? The gill plate? The red gill? Funny you say that, Johnny. This was one of the first gills I ever cut, like week 2 of learning how to paint. That gill stencil is probably has been around since as long as I've been painting. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. And I never used it. And then I remembered it because I always thought it was too small. And it was too small because I had sprayed so many baits through it, it had shrunk down to nothing. And I cleaned it, and it got bigger. It grew. And then the other one is the old classic that everybody was all chubbed up over. You know the one. That one. That one. So I wanted good, hearty, just like American old school bait colors for these baits, since they were kind of made in the heritage of like the Bagley. I wanted some good Americana colors. That's what we did. That's what we did here. Except without we bypassed the fragile old Bagley Lexan and opted for Garolite. You hadn't missed much, Jeremy. Didn't like new. Yeah, new threw him out there. I mean, the thing I feel like new just did everybody a favor, because then I mean, if you got DQ'd and you didn't agree with it, I mean, what should you really hide who? Like if you don't have, if you're opposed to the whole situation, somebody turning you in, I can see where he's like, screw it, dude. I'll tell everybody who it was. He just saved, probably, if he would have not, I don't know. Which do you think would have got him more comments, if he would have not named him, or if he would have named him? Because if he wouldn't have, he would have had the whole speculatory group in the comments lighting it up. I don't know. It's a good question, Kyle. I wonder if New and Upshaw were kind of pissed at maybe that's going to be the new rivalry now. Is going to be Brian New and Andrew Upshaw versus Watson, for Watson getting DQ'd on top of their DQ and taking some of their steam from their little debacle. Because just as soon as people were talking about that shit, hey, James Watson here, I can't fish for a year and a half. They were probably watching their views shrink, going, Watson, you son of a bitch. You took my views, bro. If I got DQ'd, I wouldn't want any comments. I mean, he might as well be the one telling the damn story. You know what I mean? Like, I rather me tell you I got DQ'd than wait for like Bass or FLW or whoever to write some sort of weak ass article trying to like talk about it. I don't know. I'm assuming Brian New didn't have a PR person he consulted with his post. Maybe he did. Daryl nailed it. Watson wanted to get fired. He didn't want to quit, so he made him fire him. He did not want to quit. Boy, it's going to kill my favorite tourney fishing to watch. Now Burns is going to have beef with Boyd because he's going to run into the ground, and then Burns ain't going to have. He's going to have to watch crummy ass Bassmasters. Kyle, you're probably right. Probably right. But I mean, where does the unsportsmanlike thing end? Because say you're a guy that like fishes dumb, and you just get out there and you're in practice, and you're in like a community hole area, and you're just going practicing, but you practice different from me because when you practice, you catch everything that bites. So you go out there and you catch 25 fish, and we're all these anglers, like 5 anglers in this area, and you're just hammering them because that's how you practice. Me, you, whoever, you don't like catching fish in practice because you like to think you can catch them during the tournament. So is it unsportsmanlike for somebody to go out and practice and catch 25 in an area? Like, could you play that card? The David Dudley method, yeah, he went through and caught a bunch of fish, a bunch of bedfish that was in a community area. Nothing against the rules that says you can't catch fish. Uh, Johnny, I made it through like the first 2 minutes. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, Jeremy, don't worry. I read through the comments of the video, and there's plenty of people uh, building back up. AJ, was it a temper tantrum though? I don't feel like that was a temper tantrum. Was it? What did the way he described it? It was out of rage, or that he just didn't want to catch it, or he wanted to see if it would lock on. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing about it is there's so much left to decipher. Who knows? Daryl, you don't think taking a fish off a bed is different? See, AJ, I heard after he ran it over, he went back and checked and like fished for that fish. Who knows? Who knows? That's what I thought happened. That's what I thought was the whole deal, was that he blew out the bed and then went back. Good question, Tyler. I'm sure somebody does, or maybe they were all so far away they didn't get any footage. Nitro has a 30-foot bass boat. It's because he's a man and said he intentionally did it. I think because he doesn't think it's that bad, and I don't either. Like, I don't know. You think the future of the sport is having live catch, weigh, release even to the local club level? Probably. I think it's going to suck. I don't think local level will adopt it, just because I think there's too many local guys that want to go weigh in their fish and drink beer. Uh, I don't think you'll ever convince them to come to weigh in and just load your boat up and like. And I don't think you'll be able to trust. Like, I think you still need locally to have an actual weigh in. Um, Well, that wasn't cool, AJ. I could definitely get behind that movement. Could be a lot of cheaters. Yeah, that's the first thing that popped in my mind. Like, how many people would cheat down here? Probably lots. Um, Said he got aggravated and tried to blow it out. I mean, whatever that is kind of stomping your feet. But I mean, if you say, "Hey, I'm either going to dick this fish up for everybody, or I'm gonna maybe it'll lock it on. Let's see what happens." Uh, it would be harder to do logistically local. All these clubs having a home program skills for it. Yeah, I don't think you would catch it would it would implode before it ever got off the ground. It would probably take one tournament of some dude winning and them saying that dude's scales ain't calibrated. He bought that scale before the tourney, and his scales, 2 ounces off or something. Like, it would never. Yeah, there would be protest on top of protest on top of protest. It would it would be endless the amount of protest you would see. Jimmy Boy ain't caught a keeper in 2 years and just had 25 pounds on a Tuesday nighter. That is 100% accurate. That is 100% accurate. I think that would be. I think that would be. I mean, I feel like the resource of bass fishing, the way it's been done, without, like, as far as uh, bass tournaments, I don't. I mean, y'all feel like the that it's impacted the resource negatively in the last 20 years, 30 years? Did you think catchway release would improve things? I mean, the one thing I like about it is I like that a fish. I like that you're not moving large amounts of fish to one place. That's probably my favorite thing about it. Um, MLF guys carry multiple skills. You have all these local guys with 3 skills. No, you're definitely right. Uh, Johnny, do you trust those? Do you trust a virtual derb? I don't. 40 scales leaves a lot of room for error for sure. There you go, Jim. Maybe the true colors are showing out. Yeah, I think catchway release for local would, like I said, would be a total disaster. Nobody, nobody in their right mind would sign up to run a trail after that started. It'd take one trail doing it, and then everybody'd be like, "No, nah, I'm good. Y'all can run your own tournaments." Later, BBC. I don't know. I mean, I feel like bass fishing tournaments are such like a microcosm like bass only mattered pretty much to bass fishermen, right? Like I don't think do you feel like if you're a casual angler that bass fishing tournaments are impacting your not the bass fishermen. We all know that they're out there being dicks, uh, running over people and stuff. But your bass fishing experience, as far as how many fish you catch, that if you were a casual angler and you didn't tournament fish, you just recreationally took your John boat out and bass fished and threw a spinnerbait and a worm a little while. Uh, would you possibly see more results or better results if bass tournaments practice catch, weigh, release? That's what I think, Tyler. I don't think they would know the damn difference. You know what I mean? Like the only people it matters to is bass fishermen, like that fish tournaments. I think to you know Johnny John boat like or Strata Steve, he doesn't care. He's just like he's going regardless, right? Whether they dumped him in 10,000 fish at one boat ramp or it never happened. So I don't know. We can have a 300 boat tournament, a 500 boat high school tourney, and 62 clubs going on, and you still run into guys going, "Sure is busy out here. Must be biting." Yep, yep. Sure is busy. But they don't even have like I feel like that guy doesn't even have the concept of what like a tournament guy has an understanding of busy because they're counting boats, right? They know that there was 500 boats going out of here, this, and this, but like the casual guy just looks around and sees a few more boats than usual. He doesn't know what's going on in the rest of the lake. I don't know. I don't know. Could have used the fish to cull to get 22 pounds. What is that, over 2 days? That better not say much else till he be next behind Watson. Which Matt? Which Matt are we talking about? Oh, Matt Steffen. He hates the no weigh-ins. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think weigh-ins are awesome. They're fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's exciting, especially when you've had a really good day, you worked your ass off, you figured it out, like you're proud of your catch, like that's the day where that's like your time to like shine. You know what I mean? To like drop a bag on everybody and they get to watch it. But the only problem at Kentucky Lake tournaments, people will run 60 to 70 miles, put them in the box, and haul them around all day, displacing the fish from. Yeah, that's the part I don't like, Darius. That's the part I don't like, especially if it's like a small area and like it gets real hot, and you got a couple guys in there over the course of like a couple days, and they just like hammer all the good ones out of there, and then just like drag them off to somewhere else. Um, Gator, I don't know that I've ever seen a damn MLF weigh-in. I want to know who won on the water. Give Burns answers. The dam running New Johnsonville. Does New Johnsonville still have grass, or is that long gone, or is it coming back down there? Darius, what's the story with New Johnsonville? It used to be the hub to go getting your string pulled. Areas that used to play don't anymore, and other areas around the major big branch are playing more. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what we're kind of finding out is if you have enough big tournaments with enough boats, even if they're just bringing a few back, if you've got 500 boats and everybody catches two, it's 1,000 fish that they just inject into a maybe good area, maybe shitty area. Um, Daryl hadn't gone down there in years. Dude, that's all I remember hearing about back in the day. New Johnsonville. Grass everywhere. The funny thing about it is I didn't hear about it until it didn't matter. I think I fished one tournament up there after I knew about New Johnsonville, and I was in a 19-foot boat, and I didn't want to risk the wind getting up and having to run down there, so I practiced close. Turns out the wind did blow, and I would have gotten my ass kicked trying to get down there. So the winner and a couple of his buddies and family just get a check. Seems kind of exciting. 27, that's strong. Would anglers pay high entry fees to have release boats for local derbies? I think it depends on how much. But the problem like you would have in an area like this, like in the Delta, is you would have to displace them over like hundreds of miles in like backwater lakes, and like if you just threw them out in the river, I don't think that would do any good. I don't know. I don't know. Morgan, that was the same with ours. We had a boat, we had a release boat, and it would just go cruise. They'd just go cruise up the river and drink beer and dump some fish out, uh, kind of not close to the ramp. Um, a local teaching out here are 100 boats. That's strong, dude. 100 boat Tuesday nighters, crazy impressive. Like when we used to fish them, if like 40, 50, like 50 was a ton, but like usually it was like 30 to 40. And that's still a pretty big tournament for a Tuesday nighter. Maybe the DNR should provide a sponsor league with a DNR official and press release and a release boat. Johnny, that would require the DNR to give a shit. So obviously they don't give enough of a shit. to do something like that. 30 boats, no lake is over 500. So it gets pretty busy with 30 boats. $100 boats per person? Oh, $100 a boat. I was like, damn, dude, that's a lot of boats. I think our Tuesday nighters on Lake Tuscaloosa were like $30, $35. He says we released too many of them for them to get big. Possibly. Gabe Montgomery fishing Friday. He's fishing the BFL Saturday. Lending a helping hand to Darius. Well, that'll be at least somebody worth following. You know what I mean? Like I don't know many people up there, so at least we can follow Darius's compadre. Tyler, I would 100% agree. It's where it's like 50 boats, and then they're like, all right, last check, 32nd place, $10. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, last 20 paces get $10. It's like, dude, give it to the guy that won. Like, I don't want $10 for doing nothing. I don't want $10 for getting my ass kicked. Jim knows Gabe. Darius, keep your secret burn stuff to yourself. Burns, what if he wins on it? What if Darius goes out there and shows him the juice and the guy says, listen, dude, I've thrown every crankbait in my box. I've got to have the burns. Give me the burns, Darius. And he gives him the burns, and the dude blows the tournament out by 10 pounds. And then he says he caught him on a DT 10. Oh, Darius tells us the true story, and Burns implodes. People like getting envelopes and pictures. Dude, I cannot tell you how disappointed I was coming up, because all the trails I fished, and they weren't big, they were because we didn't have like BFLs down here. So, but most of the ones we fished, you didn't get plaques. And I remember going to like my buddy's grandparents' house, and they'd have just like plaques and little trophies, like bass fishing trophies for like 3rd place, 2nd place, 1st place. They had plaques, they had everything. Dude, I never got jack shit for winning. Like no trophies, no plaques. The only thing I think you got a plaque for was Angler of the Year, and we lost it by a point the year they had the plaques. So that pissed me off. But it wasn't until like the last couple years where I fished anything that actually gave like hardware. Doesn't help. Yes, I mean, it makes you feel good though, Burns. It makes Burns feel all warm and fuzzy inside. He'd probably screw your name up though. Yeah, I got this bait from Clark Churns. Who? I don't know. This guy makes these wood baits over in Oklahoma. Barty? Barty Ferns? Yeah, I think that's his name. Fish for the Wood. We got a plaque for TOY last year for the Tuesday Nighters. That's awesome. Team of the Year. You know what's weird is one year I fished, um, and I think it was the year before we were the leading money winners. Me and Jody. We had won more money that year, I think, than anybody. But we were in like 20th in Angler of the Year. The next year, we finished second in Angler of the Year. You know how much money we made? We never cashed a check. We were always like, we might have got a little bit. I think we did like crummy checks. You know what I mean? Like those like mediocre checks. We never got a big one. So the year we made the most money, we were the farthest away from Angler of the Year. The year we made jack money, we were 1 point away from being Anglers of the Year. It was really weird. Really weird. It's like, well, I guess we can either go out there and try to make money, or we can go try and win, or like do well in everything. And I don't know what changed. I don't feel like we changed like the way we fished. I just feel like it just kind of how it played out. Um, Castledine, what's he doing? I didn't get a notification. Is he back to creeping on the lunch menu now? Fishers of Men, Media Bass, Bass Federation, state team. Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff was Federation stuff back in the day. USA Bassing. I had to quit fishing Fishers of Men because the dude that ran the trail down here, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. So we get to the ramp, you know, an hour before daylight, launch the boat, go out there. We pull up to the mouth of the creek, and he tells us, "Hey, I'm gonna get everybody checked in, and then I'm gonna idle out there to the mouth of the creek, and we're gonna do. I'm gonna start calling numbers." So we're getting out there, and there's another tournament going on up the river, and Tyler, they are terrible. They were terrible here. But so we idle out, and we're sitting at the mouth of the creek, and it's July or June. I think it was July. It was hot, like as hell, dude. So everybody knows that the first hour, the first 10 minutes, the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, when it's hot as hell outside, is pretty crucial. So we're out there waiting, and like we watch it go from cracking to like cracked to like boats are running by from like 10 miles up the river coming by us. And the dude's sitting out there, and we're like, what are we doing again? Gator, I could have sworn I saw your name on the website when baits were still available. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you got on because I saw your name pop up and I said, "Oh, Gator's going to get some." But that's besides the point. Uh, but the dude, we asked him what the deal was, and he said, "I'm waiting for safe light." We said, "What is safe light?" And he said, like 10 minutes after daylight. So he waited for the sun to like start cooking your face. It was after that I was like, dude, I'm not showing up and sitting out here and waiting through like the first 30 minutes of daylight. Um, they banned Matt Baker. The dude got second in the Wachita Open from all his local club derbies because they were tired of him winning. So they made a rule you couldn't fish if you paid a $500 entry fee. I never understood that. Like I always liked it when all the damn hammers showed up because then when you win or you do well and you beat all those guys, it's that much sweeter. The competition's better. It makes you a better angler. Um, all gone. Those were because it was a bad time. I feel like those were up. Those boats were up for a while. I didn't want to list them, but I wanted to get it. I didn't want to list them on a Saturday night before Easter, but I wanted to get them out of my hair because they were, or I wanted to get them off my mind because it would have just bothered me all weekend. Who's Matt Becker? Baker? He's just a local dude. Does he stir up some shit? Not Matt Becker. Different guy. Who are all these people? 8-foot diver? Yeah, Gator Burns is gonna force me into doing a medium diving bait drop. He's going to take his iron fist and lay it down and make me paint medium divers for you and Darius. This one? Is this body the same? No. The last ones were one was a BDS and one was like a Lucky Craft 1.5. This is like a small, I don't know what you would call this. Kind of like a Killer B1, maybe size body. Square bill. The builder dude has spoken. Gator, you're getting your mid divers. Gator, go ahead and apply for color recommendations that you would like. One with circuit, one with Lexan for the rock hounds. That's a good bait name. Sounds like Strike King would use it. The Rock Hounds. Not all fish. Darius, they do if that's the only ones you fish for. You're more versatile though. You don't discriminate. Yeah, you can't reach your rod tip down to that one, Clay. You can't poke that one with your rod. Gator, we might could do you a a crappie since you're been having an issue with the getting in on a drop. I think that would be fair enough. Well, let me read. He was pre-fishing for a derb on Greason and talking to one of his buddies about how it was going, and the kid told him, "Yeah, I've never heard of someone getting banned from their home lake." He's like, "What do you mean?" And the kid told him, "They made a rule so you can't fish anymore." Like, what kind of that's perfect. That's perfect for the title of this video. Like, those are the guys I want to beat. Like, if I'm fishing a local lake and Matt Baker is the damn hammer, like, I want to get good enough to beat Matt Baker. Like, I don't want him to get banned. I want to beat him. Like, that's what makes you good. Like, if you take him out of it, what's the fun? Like, where's the competitive spirit? Like, how do you get good at stuff? Darius, my mono don't like 15 to 20. That's why I stay out of that zone. Maybe the Berkeley Big Game Fluoro will change my mind and I'll start creeping down to the depths. You know what's the best analogy I've ever heard about deep water? And I think Jimmy Houston said it. Was that, and it really gave me a great perspective when he said 20 feet is not that deep. All it is your bass boat turned straight up. And when I think about it, and I'm standing on the front of my boat, and I'm like, and you make 20 feet, you stand your boat up vertically, that's not that far. You know what I mean? Like 20 feet is not far at all. When you put it in perspective as your boat, it makes you actually realize how shallow it is. Daryl, stay strong, dude. Don't let anybody try to convince you that big game isn't the shiz. Burns, I kind of do. If I set the hook on a worm and my big game goes in 20 feet of water, you don't get the best hook sets. I don't feel like that's about the only time I would go against my big game. Is fishing deep with a worm or like a football head or something. I'll still crank on it, but if I have to set the hook in deep water, it's gotten. I felt some mush before. It's like setting the hook with a rubber band a little bit. Yeah, not my favorite for that. but I deal with it. What I do is I throw out there in 20 feet, get the bite, then I put the trolling motor on high, and I reel my slack up while the fish is running with it. I run the boat towards the fish, and right when I get over the top of it, I just like hammer it. That way I get good penetration. 10-pound braid. Have you seen any adverse effects from your braid cranking, Darius? Tried Strike King Contra. Did they steal the name from the video game? I wonder. It's a good thing Brendan didn't get any of these baits. They're going to be riddled with fingerprints. The Ike hook set, run to the back of the boat, jump on the motor, and then give them a Larry Nixon triple pump hook set. Keep it down, Darius. Don't tell people that they can touch 5 feet more deep with braid. I think the braid to big game better than braid to mono. Most. Damn it, Clay! You just deleted it. Must have been juicy. Braid to floor is overrated. That seems like. I feel like with braid you need more of a shock absorber than fluoro. It was riddled with typos. That's okay. We can. I've learned to be able to interpret for the most part. Get that bait down there. Fantastic. You can feel the fish. Breathe on it. Is that good or bad? Do you throw a glass rod or do you throw graphite? Or do you throw a hybrid? I have a site visitor on my website from Susiva SV Romania. Wonder what they want. Wonder what they need. Give 30-pound braid to 20-pound big game, and they don't have a chance. Do you use that for like pitching, or do you do it for like anything you're bottom bouncing, whether it be pitching or worming out deep or stuff like that? That sounds like it would be the perfect medium. You got the shock of the big game, and then you got the no stretch of the braid. Anything but mats, and then it's straight braid, I'm guessing. It's hard to get. Who's on here? I've got 20 people on here. So here's my net. I don't. No, I won't do this. I'm gonna try to. I'll talk about it maybe next time. I got another camper idea. Hello, Tom. I got another camper idea. I won't divulge it just yet. Hopefully. Defiant and Sunline 8 to 16 strand braids. I really like Sunline's. I like their frogging and flipping braid, the blue one. Back when I worked construction and had money, pre-kids, single. Yeah, I paid $45 for some braid, and it was pretty damn good. But You guys are way too technical. PowerPro 20 and Walmart rods tie direct. Oh dang leader. Burns, you're a savage, dude. You're like my youngest daughter. Johnny, I like that. I like that 4 to 8 stuff where it's like real coarse and like not slick. It's just like it destroys your reels and your guides and everything, like because it's so like coarse and just tough. A braid discussion? No, all the good stuff was at the beginning, Tom. It's morphed into a braid. A braid is braid to mono the perfect combination for fishing to where you have feel and shock absorbency and you land the most fish. Cutting braid. Yeah, why would anybody want a cutting braid? That sounds like RIP to your guides. Is it being developed by a rod manufacturer? Is it a Fuji branded braid? That would make sense, wouldn't it? Where's Jim's comment? Is Gabe going to film this outing and have you on his live stream? We can only hope, Jim. Jim, I caught a lot of fish on your jig. And I lost it. It had no paint on it. It was it looked more like a pumice stone. The head looked like a pumice stone more than it did an actual jig head. And it had about and I tied the skirt to look like this intentionally, but it had about 10 strands of silicone skirt material on it. And dude, that thing was, I couldn't believe I lost it. I think I got on some barnacles, but I broke it off trying to pull it free. But I do have, it was the only one I had tied up in that color, and I didn't expect to lose it, but I did. So now I got to tie me one on, or I got to tie me one up, and I think I'm going to take it and abuse it. I can get a Z-Boss 25 at the bottom. Damn. That's getting down there. Johnny, I really would love to get a rod turner and just buy like badass guides and take all my pals and strip them of their shitty guides and put badass guides on them, and then just have like basically new rods. Because my only beef with Powell, I love the tapers of the rods, but my only beef is their guides. And they've been good to me. Hell, those are 15-year-old rods. But Jim, it hurt to lose that jig because I caught a bunch of fish on it and it was getting real raggedy, and I was starting to bond with it. I didn't want to see it go. All right. For those getting these baits, I have some special packaging for you. Hate tying leaders. I have one casting rod with braid, and that's my punching, Tokyo rig, and frog rod. Texas rig and jig rods or fluoro. Tom, what kind of fluoro you like? I love braid for certain things. Uh, Johnny, I'm pretty decent at the wrapping part. I just need the thing to turn so I can put the goo on there and make it all shiny and pretty. The wrapping isn't terrible because I mean, all I would basically be doing is taping off where the existing guides were, so I wouldn't have to like figure out where the guides should be placed. Um, I think it would be a pretty easy deal, but it would be probably pretty time consuming doing chopping the guides off. Morgan, you'd know. We've talked about this. How long would it take to re-guide 25 rods? To take the guides off and then redo them. We talked about it. It would be the epoxy would be the problem because you could only do one at a time because it would spin. Did I just get a call from China? It did say China, and now it says unknown. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Morgan's a great rod builder. Ow! Cramp in my leg. Ow! 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 Dog! Sorry. Ow! 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 Yo, Ralph, what's new? What? What? Um, the only thing I got braid cost me I blame it on braid for sure. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in college. I guess I was young and dumb. I was in college, uh, and I was fishing a woods and water solo trail tournament at a Tuscaloosa, and I was fishing the championship, and we could go wherever we wanted. So I went to the Alabama River, and I went down there. And the night before, I knew that I was going to be pitching a jig a lot. So because it was the championship, I thought instead of my normal 20-pound big game, I'm gonna go straight braid, so I don't even have to worry about breaking off a fish. So I go straight braid. Never pitched a jig on braid in my life. I've swam a jig a million times on braid, punched with braid, frogged with braid, swam a worm on braid, that kind of stuff. But I've never like pitched anything just down the bank with braid. So the championship tournament is when I decided to experiment with this. So I spooled that shit up, went to pitching. First bite I got in a tree, boom, set the hook, 3-pounder, comes off. That's like kind of bad luck. Pitch in there. Next tree, have another one bite, boom, set the hook, 2-pounder, comes off. I said, okay, this is weird. So I started doing other stuff. Anyway, I go out to the river and I'm fishing this kind of, I guess it's like a trash. I don't know what it is. It's just some sort of trash that's washed into this downward point of an island. And it's in like 8 feet of water. So current's coming down. I'm washing my jig through there with the braid. Get the bite, set the hook. It's a 5+. Fish comes up, opens its mouth, jig flies out, and I think braid cost me probably at least 10 pounds of fish that day. 10 plus. I know it cost me a 5 and a 3. But after I lost that big one, I was like, why are you throwing braid? Like, you're an idiot. But perfect time to experiment. Exactly. So I learned my lesson. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't get to the tournament and be like, oh man, I had them. I would have beat y'all's ass if I would have got them fish in the boat. I couldn't. I was too embarrassed, and it was too stupid for me to ever admit to. So here we are now. I can come clean. I was an idiot. It's a lot of water clarity. I would never use braid at St. Clair. You wouldn't crank deep at St. Clair with braid? What size braid for shallow cranking? Ooh, that just sounds snaggy, Clay. I don't know that I could ever get into that. I think Burns, with the rod I had, because it was a mono pitching rod, like it was a broomstick. So I think when you match that with 50-pound braid and a short hook set, I think it was just tearing the fishes through the fish's mouth. Like I set the hook the same, so it was something was different. And it wasn't just those three. Like, I lost more than that day, and it was yeah. I think the hook wasn't going in. It was just like cutting, which I've done with a swim jig on braid, where it doesn't like pop through and it just like cuts down the top of their mouth. It's not a good look. I feel bad every time it happens, but sometimes that's what braid does. Blue braid, the fish can't see blue well in the blue sky silhouette. Johnny, my fishing partner used to use 17-pound clear blue fluorescent in like 10-foot visibility. And it always bothered me because I was like paranoid that the fish would care. And I was like, you don't think the fish can see that like clear blue line, like 17-pound test? It looks like a damn lightsaber. And he's like, no. And he would throw that in like the clearest water you've ever seen. And he got plenty of bites. Like, he caught big fish on it. Braid was too strong. Yes, it was. It was too much rod, too much braid, too much everything. Probably not the right hook on the jig. It all. What's the dog barking at? That'll be good, Clay. Hey, dog. Come here, puppy. Come here, puppy. Come here, puppy. Don't you go out there and poo-poo. Don't you go out there and poo-poo. You need to go outside and potty. You need to go outside and potty. You need to go outside and potty. Ow. All right. I guess I got to take this big mongrel out and let her release her little baby bladder. Sorry, Clay. Hella, hi. Hey, Hella, where you at? Look what we got here. Ruby red. Now your bait is complete. Now you can catch bass. Because the throat is all that matters anyway. Too much red. Redo. What else do I have for Hella? Oh, Hella, you're going to get lots, dude. These? It's going to be quite the baggie. Anthony, yes, I have been shadow banned by Boyd Duckett. I have been shadow banned by Boyd. Hella, yeah, listen to the beginning and tell me what you think. Yeah, we just talked about all the uproar in the fishing world. When's it going to end? I told you it's not going to, I guess it took some of the steam off forward facing, but I'm always in for the forward facing talk. Use my t-shirts. He'll come to the house in an hour and 15 minutes from Nashville. We go fishing. Darius, I think I'm supposed to be in Nashville. Where you going, doggy? Don't you go TTing. Come here. Yeah, Hella's got a FBD hat. Your tube channel's about to get shadow banned. Hey, quit nipping at me. My hand is not a bone, bro. All right, dudes. Good talking to y'all. Hopefully we'll do a stream on Thursday. Hella, are you streaming on Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Saturday? Do you have a plan? How close to methylate and hard baits can you get? Johnny, go back to my Instagram and scroll around. I've gotten pretty close. That one's a little faded. I used to do them all the time. It's difficult to get that true like methylate glow, but I can get pretty damn close. It has been done in the past. I was on a methylate kick when I was in Austin. I did lots of methylate stuff. My favorite glide's methylate. But it's an interesting color. It's not because it's kind of pink and it's kind of red and it's kind of orange. It's all those colors all into one that kind of trick you. All right, let me take this dog out before she pisses on the floor. So good talking to you, dudes. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.